using log laws. The addition rule. When you have an addition or plus sign in between two logs, you multiply them. Subtraction rule. When you have a minus sign in between them, you divide. And the product rule, if you have a term out in front, you can bring it up into the exponent of the term that's out in front of the log. Okay, number 1. So, log base 2 x plus 6 plus log base 2 x plus 8 equals 3. So, since there's an addition sign, you multiply them together, so you get log base 2 x plus 6 x plus 8 equals 3. Now after that, you can take this log base 2, bring it over here, and so now you get x plus 6 times x plus 8 equals 8. Now you just FOIL this out. You get x squared plus 14x plus 48 equals 8. Subtract 8. And then you get x squared plus 14x plus 40 equals 0. Then factor. And you get x plus 10 times x plus 4 equals 0. And then set x plus 10 and x plus 4 equal to 0. So then you get x equals negative 10 and x equals negative 4. 2 answers. But you can't have these places out in front of the logs negative. So basically, you take your answers and you plug them back in. So, negative 4. That doesn't make this negative because it just makes it 2. And it doesn't make this negative because it makes it just 4. But you can't have negative 10 as an answer because it makes this negative and this negative. These can't be negative or 0. So your only answer is x equals negative 4. So number 2, it's a addition sign, so we multiply again. Except first, we have a 2 out in front. So you want to take that and using the product rule, bring it up here, and so you have an x plus 6 squared, but you multiply these two together, so you get log base 2, 3 times x plus 6 squared equals log base 2, 2x plus 12. And since you have two logs that are the same on both sides, you can just cancel. And then you get 3 times x squared plus 12x plus 36 multiplied by 3 equals 2x plus 12. And then distribute the 3, subtract 2x and 12. And then you get 3x squared plus 34x plus 96 equals 0. Factor 3x plus 16, x plus 6 equals 0. And then you get set this equal to 0, 3x plus 16 equals 0, and x plus 6 equals 0. So you get 2 answers, x equals negative 16 over 3, and x equals negative 6. Now we have to plug those back into the x's here and here to check if it makes it negative or 0. So negative 16 over 3, that plus 6, that's not negative or 0, and 2 times negative 16 over 3 is not make, plus 12 doesn't make that 0 or negative. But negative 6, that can't be our answer because it makes this 0, and it also makes this 0. You can't have that. So your only answer is negative 16 over 3. Now, this one, this isn't an addition sign, it's a subtraction. So we have to divide, but first, this term out in front, you take that, put it in this exponent, so you square the 4, square the x, so 16x squared, and then divide these. Make sure to bring down log base 2, so you have log base 2, 16x squared over 6 minus x. And then, since this is just what, it's basically 3 equals that, so what, the 3 raised to what equals 27, 3. So when you see this, things like this, that's just a number. And then so you have 3, you bring the 2 over, so 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, 16x squared, over 6 minus x, 8 over 1. You just cross multiply. So you get 16x squared equals 48 minus 8x. Bring the negative, or the 48 and the minus 8x over by subtracting, adding. So you get this equals 0. And then pull out an 8. Factor that. So you get x times 2x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0. And then you set 2x minus 3 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. Your two answers are this and this. But we have to plug them back into here. So 3 over 2 times 4, that's not negative or 0. 6 minus 3 over 2, that's not negative or 0. So that's an answer. But we can't have negative 2 because that makes that negative. Even though this eventually makes it positive, you still can't have it negative or 0 at all. So your only answer is x equals 3 over 2. This one, addition. Log base 3, 2x plus 5, log base 3, x minus 6 equals that. Multiply. You get this. Same logs on both sides, so you cancel. And FOIL these. So you get 2x squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 14x plus 6. Bring that over. You get this. And then you factor. And then this is the only one that makes, when you plug it back into x, that's the only one that makes all these not negative or 0. Negative 3 over 2, that makes this negative, so you can't have that. Then this one, same thing, negative, so we divide, except this 2 out here. Have to square that, so you get 4x squared. And then, so log base 2, 4x squared over x plus 3 equals 4. Because this over here, this is also just a number. It's saying e to the 4 equals e to the x. What's x? It's just 4. So you have 4x squared over x plus 3 equals 16. Cross multiply. You get 16x plus 48 equals 4x squared. Bring it over, keep this positive, you know. And then you get this, pull out a 4, and then factor, set x minus 6 and x plus 2 equals 0. So you get x plus 6, or x equals 6 and x equals negative 2. So your two answers, except plug them back in first. So x equals negative 2, you can't have that as an answer because it makes this negative. But we can use x equals 6 because it makes neither of these negative or 0. Now with these ones, if you have no calculator, you just essentially isolate the x. So you have natural log, which is just log base e, and you take that and bring it over here. So you have e to the 7th equals 4x plus 3. Subtract 3 on both sides and divide by 4. And then that's all you can do if you don't have a calculator. If you do have a calculator, you essentially do the same thing, you know, isolate the x, divide by 2, and then since this is log base e, bring it over here, e raised to 7.5, or yeah, divide by 4, and then you can actually punch it into your calculator. You get this crummy number, and so I will show the solutions to all of them now.